Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 5th. We are opening 3 bids this morning. First one is E10-25, new Wanco Matrix Midsize or Equal Message Sign. First bidder is 795 Motorsports LLC, Glen Cove, New York. Terms are net. Okay, price is $18,780. Option 1A looks like it's minus $400. 1B plus $1,800. 1C plus $300. 1D plus $300. 1E plus $250. 1F plus $1,000. 1G plus $700. 1H plus $2,000. 1I plus $400. 1J plus $550. 1K plus $700. 1L is included in the price, and delivery is 3 weeks from date of order. Next bidder is Aramsco Incorporated, Radnor, Pennsylvania. Terms are net. Okay, their price is $16,780. 1A, minus $400. The rest of them are plus. 1B, $1,500. 1C, $290. 1D, $290. 1E, $200. 1F, $990. 1G, $645. 1H, $1,990. 1I, $300. 1J, $530. 1K, $600. 1L is included in the price, and delivery is 3 weeks from receipt of order. That completes the bidding for E10-25. Next bid we're going to open is MS 025-26, Community and Park Signs. First bidder is Z-Car D Corp., DBA Signorama, Huntington Station, New York. Terms are net. A01, $1,320. A02, $1,760. A03, $300. A04, $385. A05, $55. A06, $65. B01, $840. B01A, $1,030. B02, $1,120. B02A, $1,120. B03, $525. BO3A, $642. BO4, $210. BO5, $280. BO6, $175. CO1, $470. And DO1, $270. Next bidder is Sinorama of Forest Hills, Richmond Hill, New York. Their actual name is Printing Plus LLC, and their DBA is Sinorama of Forest Hills. AO1, $2,100. AO2, $2,453. AO3, $253. AO4, $353. AO5, $153. AO6, $195. BO1, $2,253. BO1A, $2,753. BO2, $2,395. BO2A, $2,853. BO3, $1,695. BO3A, $2,153. BO4, $260. BO5, $275. BO6, $195. CO1, $995. DO1, $950. So that completes the bidding for MSO 25-26. Okay, the last bid we're opening is MSO 21-26, various types of Town of Oyster Bay signs. First bidder is Displays and Beyond Incorporated, Glendale, New York. Their other name is Fast Signs 322401. Okay, AO1, $3.10, minimum size 12 square feet. AO1, $3.50, minimum 12 square feet. AO1B, $3.50, minimum size 12 square feet. AO1C, God, is that a 4 or a 6? I think that's $4. Minimum size 12 square feet. AO1D, $4, minimum size 12 square feet. AO1E, $4.50, minimum size 12 square feet. AO1F is $5, and AO1G is $1. Okay. BO1, $6, minimum size 12 square feet. BO1A, $6.50, minimum size 12 square feet. BO1B, $7, minimum size 12 square feet. BO1C, $7.50, minimum size 12 square feet. BO1D, $7, minimum size 12 square feet. BO1E, $7.50, minimum size 12 square feet. BO1F, $5, and BO1G, $1. CO1, $5, minimum 1 square foot. CO2, $7.45, 45 cents, minimum size 1 square foot. D01, $6, minimum size 10 square feet. E01, $8.75, minimum size 4 square feet. EO2, $11.50, minimum size 4 square feet. EO3, $8.75, minimum size 4 square feet. EO4, $11.50, minimum size 4 square feet. FO1, $72. FO2, $96. FO3, $180. FO4, $300. FO5, $720. FO6, $500. GO1, $20, minimum size 24 square feet. HO1, $12, minimum size 10 square feet. IO1, $4.50, minimum size 32 square feet. IO2, $6, minimum size 32 square feet. IO3, $8, minimum 32 square feet. IO4, $10, minimum 32 square feet. JO1, $22.25. JO2, $28. JO3, $36.35. JO4, $51.35. JO5, $65.25. JO6, $75. JO7, $86.50. JO8, $103.25. JO9, $118.50. J10, $134. J11, $167.86. J12, $197.86. And J13, excuse me, $216. KO1, $5, minimum 32 square feet. KO2, $8, minimum 32 square feet. LO1, $3. LO2, $125. MO1, 18? God, I can't tell. I think it must be $10. No, it looks like a 10. $10. MO2, $12. NO1, $180. NO2, $250. NO2A, $24. NO2B, $24. NO2C, $1. NO2D, $3. NO2E, $24. NO2F, $2.50. NO3, $75. NO4, $125. NO5, $19.50. PO1, $395. QO1, $12, minimum 32 square feet. QO2, $16, minimum 32 square feet. RO1, $12, minimum 24 square feet. RO2, $18, minimum 24 square feet. RO3, $17.86, minimum 24 square feet. SO1, $6, minimum 24 square feet. SO2, $8, minimum 24 square feet. SO3, $8, minimum 24 square feet. SO4, $10, minimum 24 square feet. TO1, $786. TO2, $155. No bids on UO1 and 2. UO3, $175. And VO1, $6, minimum 24 square feet. And VO2, $8, minimum 24 square feet. Next bidder is Sinorama, Huntington Station, New York. I believe that, yeah, this is the same Z-Car D. Terms are net. Okay, AO1, $4, minimum 10 square feet. AO1A, $4, minimum 10 square feet. AO1B, $5, minimum 10 square feet. AO1C, $5, minimum 10 square feet. AO1D, $6, minimum 10 square feet. AO1E, $6, minimum 10 square feet. AO1F, $5. AO1G, $1. BO1, $8.50, minimum 10 square feet. BO1A, $8.50, minimum 10 square feet. BO1B, $9.50, minimum 10 square feet. BO1C, $9.50, minimum 10 square feet. BO1D, $8, minimum 10 square feet. BO1E, $8, minimum 10 square feet. BO1F, $5. BO1G, $1. CO1, $5, minimum 1 square foot. CO2, $7.50, minimum 1 square foot. DO1, $6.50, minimum 10 square feet. EO1, $9, minimum 4 square feet. EO2, $12, minimum 4 square feet. EO3, $9, minimum 4 square feet. EO4, $12, minimum 4 square feet. FO1, $60. FO2, $90. FO3, $180. FO4, $300. FO5, $700. FO6, $475. GO1, $20, minimum 24 square feet. HO1, $3, minimum 6 square feet. IO1, $5, minimum 3 square feet. IO2, $7.50, minimum 3 square feet. IO3, $7, minimum 3 square feet. IO4, $9, minimum 3 square feet. JO1, $18.90. JO2, $22.49. JO3, $28.02. JO4, $39.18. JO5, $46.25. JO6, $53.90. JO7, $61.60. JO8, $70.60. JO9, $82.20. J10, $96.15. J11, $118.40. J12, $124.20. J13, $139.80. KO1, $6, minimum 2 square feet. KO2, $7.50, minimum 2 square feet. LO1, $214. LO2, $159. MO1, $8. MO2, $10. NO1, $149. NO2, they gave us 2 prices, up to 20 square feet, $422.50. and over 23 square feet, $522.50. NO2A, $55, NO2B, $110, NO2C, $2.50, NO2D, $5, NO2E, $27.50, NO2F, $2.50, NO3, $735 up to 20 square feet, and then $935 over 23 square feet. And for NO4, the exact same pricing, $735 up to 20 square feet and $935 over 23 square feet. NO5, $6.25. Whoops. I silenced that, sorry. PO1, $400. QO1, $15, minimum 3 square feet. QO2, $18, minimum 3 square feet. RO1, $10, minimum 3 square feet. RO2, $15, minimum 3 square feet. RO3, $18.50, minimum 3 square feet. SO1, $7, minimum 3 square feet. SO2, $9.50, minimum 3 square feet. SO3, $8, minimum 3 square feet. SO4, $11, minimum 3 square feet. TO1, $788. TO2, $135. UO1, $479. UO2, $309. UO3, $137. VO1, $5.50, minimum order 3 square feet. And VO2, $7.50, minimum 3 square feet. The next bidder is Blink Swag. I'll tell you as soon as I cut this open where they're from. I can't. These scissors. Thank you. Okay, they're in Cleveland, Ohio. Terms are net. Okay. AO1, $4.25, minimum 4 square feet. AO1A, $4.75, minimum's not filled in. AO1B, $9.50, minimum 4 square feet. AO1C, $11.50, minimum 4 square feet. AO1D, $2.95, minimum 4 square feet. AO1E, $5.25, minimum 4 square feet. AO1F, $3.75. AO1G, 95 cents. BO1, $6.50, minimum 4 square feet. BO1A, $7.50, minimum 4 square feet. BO1B, $10.50, minimum 4 square feet. BO1C, $11.50, minimum 4 square feet. BO1D, $4.95, minimum 4 square feet. BO1E, $5.95, minimum 4 square feet. BO1F, $6.50. BO1G, $1.50. CO1, $8.50, no minimum. CO2, $11.50, minimum 8 square feet. DO1, $10.50, minimum 10 square feet. EO1, $28.57, minimum 6 square feet. EO2, $35.71, minimum 6 square feet. EO3, $21.43, minimum 6 square feet. EO4, $28.57, minimum 6 square feet. FO1, $200. FO2, $333.33. FO3, $533.33. FO4, $800. FO5, $1,333.33. FO6, $1,066.67. GO1, $225, minimum 50 square feet. HO1, $5, no minimum. IO1, $8.50, minimum 8 square feet. IO2, $9.50, minimum 8 square feet. IO3, $12.50, minimum 8 square feet. IO4, $13.50, minimum 8 square feet. JO1, $23.41. JO2, $27.36. JO3, $34.19. JO4, $73.71. JO5, $84.24. JO6, $95.24. JO7, $259.91. JO8, $296.37. JO9, $372.81. J10, $460.80. J11, $567.40. J12, $681.83. J13, $806.80. KO1, $17.50, minimum 8 square feet. KO2, $21.50, minimum 8 square feet. LO1, $22.50. LO2, $350. MO1, $10, minimum 3. MO2, $12, minimum 3. NO1, $342.86. NO2, $642.86. NO2A, $35.71. NO2B, $31.43. NO2C, $2.50. NO2D, $3.21. NO2E, $25.71. NO2F, $1.79. NO3, $107.14. NO4, $178.57. NO5, $21.43. PO1, $535.71. QO1, $18, minimum 6 square feet. QO2, $20, minimum 6 square feet. RO1, $35, no minimum. RO2, $40, no minimum. RO3, $48, minimum 8 square feet. SO1, $16.50, minimum 8 square feet. SO2, $19.50, minimum 8 square feet. SO3, $18.50, minimum 8 square feet. SO4, $23.50, minimum 8 square feet. TO1, $475. TO2, $195. UO1, $650. UO2, $425. UO3, $325. VO1, $8.50, minimum 6 square feet. and VO2, $10.50, minimum 6 square feet. And the last bid for today comes from Sonorama of Forest Hills in Richmond Hill, New York. I forget what their name is, print something, but it'll say it here. Name is Printing Plus LLC, DBA Sonorama Forest Hills. AO1, $3.95, minimum 6 square feet. AO1A, $4.40, minimum 8 square feet. AO1B, $4.95, minimum 8 square feet. AO1C, $5.25, minimum 8 square feet. AO1D, $4.25, minimum 8 square feet. AO1E, $4.95, minimum 8 square feet. AO1F, $4. AO1G, $2.75. BO1, $5.50. They did not put in a minimum. BO1A, $6, minimum 8 square feet. BO1B, $6.50, minimum 8 square feet. BO1C, $6.75, minimum 8 square feet. BO1D, $6.95, minimum 8 square feet. BO1E, $7.25, minimum 8 square feet. BO1F, $4. BO1G, $2.75. CO1, $5.50, minimum 2 square feet. CO2, $8, minimum 2 square feet. DO1, $5.50, minimum 8 square feet. EO1, $7, minimum 2 square feet. EO2, $10, minimum 2 square feet. EO3, $10, minimum 2 square feet. EO4, $15, minimum 2 square feet. FO1, $125. FO2, $175. FO3, $245. FO4, $495. FO5, $895. FO6, $795. GO1, $28.12, minimum 8 square feet. HO1, $5, minimum 4 square feet. IO1, $5, minimum 4 square feet. IO2, $6.25, minimum 2 square feet. IO3, $7.50, minimum 2 square feet. IO4, $10, minimum 2 square feet. JO1, $18. JO2, $24. JO3, $28. JO4, $35. JO5, $46. JO6, $56.25. JO7, $62.95. JO8, $75. JO9, $85.95. J10, $92. J11, $108. J12, $138.97. J13, $174. KO1, $6.56, minimum 2 square feet. KO2, $7.95, minimum 2 square feet. LO1, $5. LO2, $98. MO1, $6.85, minimum quantity 100, and MO2, $7.50, minimum quantity 100. NO1, $140. NO2, $240. NO2A, $28. NO2B, $49. NO2C, $2. NO2D, $3. NO2E, $60. NO2F, $3. N03, $195. N04, $280. And N05, $44. P01, $150. Q01, $7.20, minimum 3 square feet. Q02, $8.95, minimum 3 square feet. R01, $10, minimum 8 square feet. R02, $14, minimum 8 square feet. R03, $16, minimum 8 square feet. SO1, $4, minimum 3 square feet. SO2, $5, minimum 3 square feet. SO3, $7, minimum 3 square feet. SO4, $8, minimum 3 square feet. TO1, $144. TO2, $95. U01, $290. U02, $195. U03, $175. VO1, $2.75, minimum 3 square feet. And VO2, $4.50, minimum 3 square feet. Okay, that concludes their bid, and that concludes the bidding for today. Thank you.